All right. So hi guys, we are back once again, and we are still continuing with financial mathematics. In the previous video, we looked at simple interest, and in this video, I want us to discuss compound interest. Okay, compound interest. Okay, so what is compound interest? Remember, for simple interest, we said simple interest is the interest that is calculated only on the original amount, which is principal amount. But what is compound interest? Compound interest is the interest that is calculated on the original amount plus any interest that is already earned. Okay, so let's write down, and we will understand this when we are doing calculations. But this is interest that is calculated, okay, that is calculated on the original amount. For simple interest, is the interest that is calculated only on the original amount. But for compound interest, this is the interest that is calculated on the original amount, right? Original amount plus original amount plus the interest that is already earned. Okay, plus any interest that is already earned plus the interest earned. Okay, so many businesses use this type of interest, compound interest. Why? Because it grows better than simple interest. Okay, you will see when we are doing calculations, it's better than simple interest, because now the interest is calculated on the original amount um, plus the interest that is already earned, any interest that is already earned. This is compound interest. So how do we calculate compound interest? Okay, so this is the formula that we are using when we are dealing with calculations involving compound interest. That is, A is equals to P into 1 plus I all to exponent n. Okay, where A is the accumulated amount. This is the total amount, or the final value accumulated, the final value after a certain period. Okay, that is accumulated amount. And then P is our original amount, initial amount, or principal amount, or present amount. Okay, so P, principal amount. Then I, this is interest rate as as a decimal rather, but it is given to us as a percentage. We need to convert this interest rate into decimal. Okay, so it's interest rate. We just said interest rate is the same as interest, but the difference is that interest rate is the percentage, right? And then N is period. Okay, it's the period. So this is the formula that we are going to use when we calculate compound interest. All right, but there is something that I want us to discuss here, because this is compound interest. There is what we call compounding period. Okay, just like I said, n is not number of years, but it's period. It can be annually, semi-annually, or quarterly, monthly. So compounding periods, okay, compounding periods, which in this case I'll represent it by small letter n. Compounding period. Okay, I'll say this is small letter n. So there is interest that you will earn or you will pay annually. So that is compounded annually. Annually. When the question is saying annually, compounded annually, then this one is the most simplest because annually means once per year, right? It's once per year. So what are we going to do? We are going to divide the interest. Okay, let me write once per year, right? Once per year. We are going to divide interest as a decimal, of course, interest rate as a decimal by 1, okay, by 1, which is exactly the same as the interest that you will be given. Let's say it's 9%. So if it is 9%, it's 0.09, right? And then if they are saying this is compounded annually, then you will divide 0.09 by 1, which is 0.01. And then after that, you will multiply the number of years, that will be given to you. Maybe let's say 5 years. 5 years. Then you will multiply number of years. Let's say 5 by 1. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But to make things very simple, let's do it like this. A is equals to P into 1 plus. This is what you will do. Okay, with compounding periods, you need to divide the interest rate that is given to you by the compounding period, annually, semi-annually, and all of that. Okay, then you will multiply a number of years by that compounding period. Okay, so if it's annually, then you will divide by 1 and then multiply by 1 there. All right, but what if okay, we've got again semi-annually, compounded semi-annually, or they can say annually. They can say, all right, annually, or they can say, instead of semi-annually, they can say half yearly. Okay, so semi-annually or half yearly means twice per year. So it means this is 2, right? It's twice per year, right? So what are you going to do if they are talking about semi-annually? You need to divide the interest rate. Remember the interest rate, you will plug it here as a decimal, right? You need to convert it. Okay, so after doing so, then you will divide your interest rate by 2, then multiply number of years by 2. Okay, that is semi-annual or half yearly. Then we have quarterly. We have quarterly again. Quarterly. All right, it's quarterly. So quarterly means 4 times per year. It's 4 times per year. So what are we going to do in this case? You will divide your interest by 4, then multiply those number of years by 4. Okay, all right, that is quarterly. And then we've got monthly. We've got 12 months, right? In 1 year. So you will multiply by, okay, you will divide the interest rate by 12, then multiply by 12, the number of years by 12, if they are saying compounded monthly. So these are your compounding periods. Okay, it's annually, semi-annually, quarterly, and monthly. Remember, for semi-annually, they can say half yearly. Okay, so let's go to these questions here. The following questions, I've got 2, right? Yes. 2 questions, but let's start with this one. So they are saying Andrew invest 1,200. What is that 1,200? That is our principal amount, or the original amount, 1,200, at an interest rate of 10% compounded quarterly. Interesting, compounded quarterly. We just said quarterly means 4 times per year. Okay, so we will divide the interest rate by 4, then multiply those number of years by 4. Okay, that's what we are going to do. All right, so let's write the interest rate down. So it's 10%, and then when you divide 10% by 100, it's going to give you 0,1. Yes, 0,1. 0,1. Then this 0,1 will be divided by 4, right? Yes, compounded quarterly, remember. And then they are saying calculate how much will Andrew's investment be worth after 5 years. So what are we looking for here? We are looking for accumulated amount there, your final value, okay, after 5 years. So we've got n, which is 5, but remember, compounded quarterly. With our formula, we set the compounding period, which in this case it's compounded quarterly. We will multiply that by the number of years. So we've got 5 in this case. When you multiply 5 by 4, you will get 20, and it's 20 months, right? Okay, so let's write our formula down. A is equals to P 1 plus I all to exponent n, and then our principal amount is 1,200 into 1 plus the interest rate 0,1 divided by the compounding period quarterly, then period is 20, right? We multiplied 5 by 4. Then we take this into our calculator. 1,200, 1 plus 0,1 divided by 4 all to exponent 20. That is 1966,34. Yes, this is the investment of Andrew after 5 years, right? Yes. Then let's move to the next question, which is saying okay, let me try to zoom here. Right. Okay, let me put it here. Right. Two friends each receive an amount of 8,000 to invest for a period of 6 years. Okay, so principal amount for two friends is 8,000, right? And then to invest for a period of 6 years, so n is equals to 6 in this case, 6 years, right? They invest yes, as follows: Redishe 8,5% per annum simple interest. 8,5% per annum simple interest, right, for Redishe, right? And then at the end of 6 years, Redishe will receive a bonus of exactly 6% of the principal amount. Redisha will receive a bonus of exactly 6% of the principal amount. So let's deal with this. Okay, let's not be confused. Redisha is using simple interest, right? Which is calculated at 8,5% per annum. And then at the end of 6 years, Redisha will receive a bonus of exactly of 6% of the principal amount. Okay, so let's deal with that. Because it's simple interest, we are going to use the formula A is equals to P into 1 plus I N. Right. And then the principal amount, remember, these two friends, they receive an amount of 8,000 to invest for a period of 6 years. So our P in this case, we just said P is 8,000. Okay, so 8,000 into 1 plus the interest rate. In this case, it's 8,5%. All right, 8,5%. Remember, you need to divide this 8,5 by 100. Okay, 8,5 divided by 100 is 0,085. So it's 0,085. And then what is n? N is 6. So you will multiply by 6. Okay, so this amount that we are calculating here is the amount that Redisha will receive for investing 8,000 at an interest of at an interest rate of 8.5%. But remember, they said at the end of 6 years, Rhodesia will receive a bonus of exactly of 6% of the principal amount. So what are we going to do? Okay, put this into our calculator. 8,001 plus 0.085 multiplied by 6. This is going to give us 12,080, right? But she will receive what? She will receive a bonus of exactly 6%. 6%, which is 6 over 100. We will multiply by what? We will multiply by 6% of the principal amount. So you will say 6% of the principal amount, which is 8,000, and then put this into your calculator. 6 over 100 multiply by 8,000, that is 480. Then you will add the 2, right? You will add the 2. 12,080 plus 480. This is equals to, okay, this is equals to, okay, so it's 12,560. Yes, so that's all about Rhodesia. And then Tato, invest the money as follows. Tato, it's 8% per annum compounded quarterly. And the question was, say, who will have a bigger investment after 6 years? I'm assuming it's Tato, because I mean, Tato is using compound interest, and we just said compound interest is way better than simple interest. But let's see. So for Tato is using compound interest, 8%, but the amount is still the same. Principal amount is 8,000. The period is still the same, just that Tato is using compound interest. So let's write the formula for compound interest down. And then P, we have 8,000. So that is 8,000 into 1 plus, what is the interest rate? Interest rate is 8%. So you will say 8 divided by 100, which is going to give you 0.08, right? And then 0.08. Do you have, or do we have, a compounding period? Of course, that is compounded quarterly. So quarterly means 4 times per year. So we will divide by 4, then multiply the number of years by 4. So in this case, number of years, 6 years. 6 years. So it's 6 multiplied by 4, which is 24, right? Then 8,000 into 1 plus 0.08 divided by 4, 6 multiplied by 4, this is 12,867,50 So we will have a bigger investment between the two. As you can see, this is smaller than this, so it means Tato will be the one who will have bigger investment. I mean, it makes sense. Tato is using compound interest after all. Good people, yeah, that's all about compound interest. We will be back again, continuing with the financial mathematics. Sharp.